We're here today with the lovely Verusca Walker, who is nothing short of an internet sensation with her fabulous Facebook group reaching over 40,000 members. What some of you may not know is that Verusca's creative talents did not start in cake. Verusca, can you tell me a bit about where it all started?
Well, believe it or not, I used to work with cloth, and I used to make clothes and cloth dolls. And because I didn't have many friends here in Australia, my English wasn't very good, so the only way to pass my time was staying home with my sewing machine and doing dolls. And I was doing fine arts at TAFE, and so the dolls was my way to express my art, and it was a really good medium for me to work.
And I can see that you had already started achieving some media exposure with your dolls. I think it's safe to say you were probably destined for stardom from the start.
Yes, and it wasn't even intentional too. I just did it to my daughter's birthday party, and somebody told the newspaper coming home, took a photo of my work, he did an interview, and then a magazine contacted me, and he did a lot of articles for the Cloth Doll magazine in Australia.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But the thing that it surprised me the most was one of the magazines, one of the editions of the magazine, they did a profile. They always do profile on an artist, and they put a photo of that party that I did it, and it got, everybody got to know, and they have a photo of the cake I made for the party, and everybody was talking about the cake. They didn't even care anymore for my dolls. Everybody was talking about the cake.
And we have a picture of this cake here that we'll show everyone as well.
Yeah, it wasn't even that good, but back then, it was like such a sensation because nobody in Australia saw before. And I didn't understand what it was the fuss about, but I started getting so many orders, and everybody ordering cake in here and there. So yeah, that's why I ended up going back to TAFE and doing the baking course, because I fell in love with the medium too. It's so much easier than cloth and sewing machine, and so yeah. And it just happening that when I was doing fine art, one of my majors was sculpture, and so I already loved the working with the clay and modeling, so it just took over. I suppose I have to say it must be something inside of me that I have this
I think the fine arts and the sculpting certainly goes a long way in, in thinking sort of in 3D, which comes in very handy with your novelty work.
Yeah, my teacher used to say this to me. He used to say, "You have a 3D eye," and I used to laugh, because I wear glasses. So yes, I definitely have 3D eye, but yeah. So he used to say to me, "You have a very understand of the world around you and the conception, and you can see the world in different dimensions that many people can't see." But I think everything is achievable, and anyone can learn to see the world the same way we see. I just probably was lucky that I born in a country where people are very creative, and Brazilians are very creative. We love music, we love art, we love dancing. So I born around this, and so for me it's easy probably to embrace and see the world different. I imagine, I hope.
I think one of the reasons people love your cakes so much is that they are achievable. I think you have an amazing ability to take that 3D world, but then create a cake that other people can then replicate, because you make it easy for them to do that.
But not only that too, I'm always taking consideration price too, because like I said to you, I come from Brazil where things are tough there, life is tough, and when I come into Australia, I have to open hands of a lot of things to be where I am, and I have to work hard to get where I am today, and I didn't have much money, to buy things, and so I wanted people to be able to do something nice, but with minimal cost, and I learned a lot when I went to work in retail, selling cakes every day. I know how much people can afford to pay, you know. They still wanted something to wow people, they still wanted beautiful cake, but you know, for affordable price and achievable, you know. And that's what it gives me so much happiness, because I can go to a class and I can teach anyone of any skills, and I know they will achieve what I'm teaching them, you know. I'm not making things difficult, you know.
Yeah. And your teaching is now taking you around the world. Tell me about some of your plans for this year. It's very exciting.
It's very scary. It's very scary. But I have to say thank you to everybody that been following me on Facebook. Everything starts, you know, the same way I used to do with my dolls, my cloth. I used to share with everybody my knowledge and the things I knew. And I just transferred this for the cake. So when I started doing my cakes, I knew the points that I was struggling and what I could help other people. And I started posting photos of my tutorials on Facebook. Actually, I started on DeviantArt first, and then I jumped to Facebook. And it just exploded, because back then, you know, we're talking about like 7-8 years ago, nobody knew nothing about cake decorating. You couldn't get much information about. The ones that I had, it was keeping the secret, you know, and I understand why they're keeping for themselves, you know, but it wasn't fair for us that it was just starting. We need help, you know. And so I started posting my thoughts, and people started giving me feedbacks, and I ended up meeting so many people, and now I know so many people everywhere in the world, you know. And I learn so much with everybody, and they share with me, and they send me messages every morning, and they say, Verusca, I just made a step-by-step that I know you're gonna love it, and so I go and I post to my group. So we become a community, we become friends, and the best thing is we are helping each other. Nobody is better than anybody, you know. And I'm part of so many communities on the internet, and now I'm with learncakes.com online, and it's so good because everybody's sharing the photos of the cakes and what are they doing. And if they watch one of my videos, they go and post photos, what did they achieve, and they say nice things, you know.
And I think that's why people love you so much, because you are so sharing and you're always so giving of your knowledge, and you know, in your classes you give as much as you possibly can to all of your students.
But I'm only a reflect of everybody else, and I only kept doing because I got a really nice feedback, and everybody started sharing too with me, you know. So I'm just a reflection of everybody else, you know. I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. I'm just, you know, trying to help a little bit.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today, Verusca.
Thank you.
If you want to connect with Verusca or watch any of her online tutorials, head to www.learncakesdecoratingonline.com. If you would like to join Verusca's Facebook group, we'll put the link at the bottom of this video, so jump on over and connect with her in her Facebook book as well.